Is beauty truly in the eye of the beholder? Over the months that we have been producing the Ask RC podcast and setting them out there, we have spent a fair amount of time in various venues dealing with the foolishness that is a relativistic view of truth, that there is no true and false, there's only different views. We spent even more time talking about the folly of ethical relativism, the idea that there's no right and wrong, there's only your perspective and my perspective. We have spent not as much time, if any at all, on the question of beauty. In Plato's understanding of the world, he argued that there are three high virtues, that he describes as being ends in themselves. There are more virtues, but those virtues are virtuous because they serve these virtues. But these virtues are the final product, the thing that we want ultimately. That is goodness, truth, and beauty. Well, when we take that tack, when we affirm that truism, or maybe I should say aphorism, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, I think we're misunderstanding what it was intended to communicate when that phrase first came to pass. It is certainly true, and I have no reason and wish to dispute it, that people like what they're going to like. Just yesterday, my wife asked me to prepare her some dinner, and she wanted some refried beans, and she wanted some cheese, and she wanted some jalapenos, and she wanted some taco sauce. And I would never eat that. And I've told her, I said, every time people ask me, well, why don't you like Mexican food? My answer is always pretty much the way it tastes. And she said to me last night, you know why I like this? Pretty much the way it tastes. There is no accounting for taste. And so in that sense, I'm perfectly willing. If that's all we mean by beauty is in the eye of the beholder, I'm down with that. But really what we tend to mean is that there's no such thing as objective beauty. And it's just not true. In fact, we have to start by acknowledging that there is a distinction between beauty and what we like. I'm perfectly willing to acknowledge that opera is a beautiful art form, but my ear has not been sufficiently trained and may never get sufficiently trained so that I get to the place where I actually enjoy listening to opera. I like the snippets of opera that show up in the movie Diva, Wilhelmina Wiggins Fernandez doing La Wally. That's beautiful. I confess that. But that's really neither here nor there. My point is, we do have our tastes, but there are standards. And one of the ways that we know there are standards is our own behavior. Because while someone with a less sophisticated musical palate might find the auto-tuned ramblings or warblings of the latest girl band, all that, and not really appreciate Pachelbel's canon or Beethoven, that's really a discussion sort of inside the realm of beauty. As much as I dislike auto-tuned warblings, I recognize that there are sounds that are in some level pleasing to the ear. And so we're bickering over which beauty is better beauty. But what I know is that nobody downloads from iTunes an album filled with the sounds of a meatpacking plant or car crashes. Nobody puts on their mantle a picture of maggots unless they're trying to make some sort of statement. We know beauty when we see it, when we hear it, when we feel it, and when we deny it. We're doing so because we want to deny the source of it. God is true, and God is good. And God commands us to worship him in the beauty of holiness.